Okay, so yesterday I said we were going to save this part until today. We talked about scalar multiplication, which is when we multiply a number by a matrix. Dot product multiplication is a way to multiply matrices together. So now we're multiplying a matrix by a matrix. Okay, so this is not something we're going to do by hand. This is going to be done on a calculator. Luckily, you have the internet available to you now, so I'm going to post a link that is an online matrix calculator you can use to do all of this. If you have a TI-84 or a Casio, there are ways to do it on the calculator, and we can talk about that when we come back to school, but for now, you can just use this app. So this is when multiply a matrix by a matrix, and the order of multiplication matters. Now, this is different than what we normally do. If I'm multiplying 3 times 4, so multiply 3 times 4, this is the same as multiplying 4 by 3, but when we're doing matrices, it is not going to be that way. So let's say I have matrix A. And we're going to say that matrix A has dimensions of 2 rows by 2 columns. And we're going to multiply this matrix by matrix B. But matrix B has dimensions of 2 rows by 3 columns. So long as these numbers are the same size and same units, this is going to be relevant for you on the assignment that I'm going to post. As long as these are the same, we can multiply them together. And our answer matrix will have dimensions of this number by this number. So this is going to be the output size as well as output units. So our answer here will be a 2 by 3. Okay? Now, the reason the order matters is because let's say I was to multiply matrix B by matrix A, where B has the same dimensions as above, and A as well. Now, these two numbers are not the same. A 2 by 3 multiplied by a 2 by 2, this is going to be undefined. Okay? So it's easiest to write out the dimensions and compare the numbers this way. If we were to put it into words, we could say that the number of columns in matrix 1, or matrix A, whatever the first matrix A, the number of columns in matrix A must be the same as the number of rows in matrix B, or 2. Okay, now that's really wordy and can be difficult to remember, so when I'm doing this out, I like to just write the dimensions and compare the inside, where these are my rows, these are my columns, rows, columns, rows, columns. Okay, so on the homework, when you're trying to multiply the matrices, make sure you're setting them up so that the matrix have the same dimensions and units. So if we were talking about the front, I could say that my units for the rows would be the color shirt. And I would say the dimensions for the columns would be the quantity for each type. So this would be type. Okay. So when you're setting up your dimensions on the homework, here our rows are dimensions of days. Our columns are dimensions of meals. Our rows are dimensions of meals, and our columns are dimensions of money. Rows are students. Columns are competencies. Rows are competencies. Columns are percentages. So make sure all of the units match up.